So we work towards our ink fashion illustration, it's really important that you have a look at lots of different illustrators and just how different illustrators work. Dry brush techniques, wet and wet, using really strong areas with pure ink, with sort of lines of wash. And also how they achieve different textures. There's so many different ways you can be working with ink. It's a very beautiful medium, and you can get so many different textures and patterns and prints in through there. So yeah, just make sure you're doing lots of research and looking at lots of different artists. Yeah, so that's my ink page. I've also got one for like fabric textures. So I'm looking at how different artists represent different textures in fashion. And I'm going to start with just some quick warm-ups for the print. So maybe you've found some really cool garments that would work well in ink. But sometimes it's good to just have a play and see how they go before you launch into your actual. So yeah, these are really fun, and they're just sort of practice runs on how to control the ink as well in different situations. So these are some practice ones I've done. So yeah, that was an outfit, and I kept it very abstract. The beauty of these is you don't have to be as tight or as literal, but they just sort of about sort of playing with different ideas. So that was another outfit. Yeah, so I really had fun with those. So I'm going to try this one. It's quite nice because it's very light, just with a few hints of ink areas. You can see I've drawn it up here just very quickly and lightly. And yeah, so I want to start with white, and I'm just going to work maybe in sections so I can keep some control in there. I wanted that a little bit cleaner. Let's see how we go. And yeah, I'm going to try and keep it in that shape. Maybe I'll keep some little white areas, and some I'll make grey. I want to be fairly accurate with my shape. That whole idea of a really strong silhouette. That's my shirt area. And then I might try a bit of that sort of flicking technique. I don't want too much in there. Just a little bit to start sort of getting a bit of texture in. I quite like if it goes off the picture as well. Kind of interesting. So you can see I'm not being too literal. Make another old brush and just try and get a few more darker areas here and there. Yeah, and this is why it's important to do some trial runs, because sometimes it'll just take off on you. And you can see I've got a much darker garment than what we've got here. And as this starts to dry, the ink's going to move a little bit less. But I'm just going to go with it. It's going to be a slightly darker garment, but that's okay. I've got the dark of the bag in through there. Yeah, now I can start working on that lower area. I'm not going to do too much with the hair or head. Maybe I'll just sort of work up a little bit of line just to get the texture of the hair. lower half, I might get some more wash areas in. And keep control of that silhouette. Yeah, and traditionally this sort of wash method, you're working from light to dark. So starting off with your lights and working up to darker areas. I might get a slightly darker wash down through here where it's in shadow. See how that works. Get that gradation happening. There's some darker bits in through there. Yeah, I might just try some of that sort of dry brushy kind of technique. So yeah, it's really about experimenting and just finding what works. But you see, as it dries, it works really differently. So get down into the shoes. Try and leave a little bit of that highlight. Just hint at that hand, hint at the eye area. And then I could start to draw in some details. Getting those folds coming up through here. Yeah, and that might do me. So it's just sort of implying, it's not exact, but yeah, it's sort of experimenting with the mediums.